Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And as usual, I am your host, Larry Cox, and welcome to another weekday special candidate edition. Now, we got a double header for you tonight, guys. First guest we got coming on here tonight is Ronald Muckle, candidate for sheriff of Rockdale County. Then at 8 o'clock, we're going to have Miss Renee Simpson, candidate for Post 1 commissioner. So tonight we've got Ronald Muckle, he's running for sheriff. And we want to try to give Ronald an opportunity tonight to tell us why he should be elected sheriff and why he's the best man for this job. And, it takes a lot of courage to run for office. And uh, you know what? You got to take your hands off to everybody that's out here and running for any race that we have. And Ronald literally has to take the hat off because he always wears the hat. So there's what we go, guys. So hey, share, like the show, let your friends know the show's on. Let's build the audience as we go along. So I'm going to not waste any more time, and I am going to bring Mr. Muckle on the show. Good evening, Ronald. How are you doing tonight?
I'm fine, sir.
So, so is this your first run for office, Ronald?
That is correct. My first time running for office.
Good, good, good. So, with that being said, why don't we let you introduce yourself? Tell you about your background and why you're running for sheriff.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for allowing me to be here to speak to the audience. My name is Ronald Muckle. I am a former Atlanta police officer, retired Navy chief, and a special deputy United States Marshal. I'm coming out of retirement, and I cannot wait to be the sheriff of Rockdale County for the following reasons. I would like to be able to give the officers, men and women of Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, everything they need to be safe so they can be effective and efficient, providing service for the residents of Rockdale County. And that's why I need your vote. And most of all, we have to save these children. Vote for me, Ronald Muckle, Sheriff of Rockdale County.
Powerful statement, Ronald. Powerful statement. Yeah. So you were a former Atlanta police officer. How long did you work as a police officer in the city of Atlanta?
4 years.
4 years. Now, was that before or after your military service?
Very good question. Let me explain it this way. I entered the military at age 17 years old, and I was on my first ship when I was 18 years old. Atlanta police officer killed my cousin, and I decided that day, while I was in the Navy, when I get out of the Navy, I'll be a police officer so I can protect and serve. I became Atlanta police officer for 4 years. I was promoted to detective within 18 months. During that same time, I heard about another guy being promoted to detective. It took him 19 months, but I was not in competition for that. I later went back into the military because I had a call to serve, and I couldn't wait to get back there because I do like rules and regulations. During my time in the military, I became a flight engineer for a P-3 Orion aircraft built by Lockheed, and also became an instructor. Later in my time in service, I was trained by SEAL Team 4, United States Navy, and I served in the Gulf War. I have sworn to the Constitution probably, 8, 9, 10 times that I will protect and serve. I have been protecting and serving all my life. I retired June 30th, 1995, and later I started me a security company. And after that, I had the opportunity to become a special deputy United States Marshal. I have been serving all my adult life. I am coming out of retirement to make this a better place for everyone.
So, Ronald, So I guess you've observed the sheriff's department in action here in Rockdale County, and,
That's
and
right.
that's most likely the reason you're coming out of retirement. So let me ask you, what would you do differently than what's being done now?
I would like to say sometime like first of all, second and third, but I can't explain it like that. First of all, in my own subdivision, and as I ride through Rockdale County, I do not see enough deputies in the street. We have to have more uniform cars on the street to deter crime. Crime in Rockdale County right now, according to the ComStats, the data that we have access and we have, it says the crime in Rockdale County is 31% compared to the national average, which is 24%. We are in trouble. Human trafficking is on the rise in Rockdale County. What I'm going to do is protect and serve. And that's just not some word I'm saying. That's what I'm going to do. We have to recruit, hire more officers. Right now, they're short. I think the budget call for right now 356 officers. And I don't know exactly what they got, but I know what I don't see. I don't see anyone patrolling. Your subdivision not being protected. The response to calls is out. The time it responding to calls is out of control. Sometimes they don't respond. I've learned that the average beat for these officers out in the street working, their average beat is about 10 square miles. Therefore, they can't perform. They can't get the calls on time. And they're being beat down. They're doing a lot of work and they're not getting the data boy from the sheriff. They feel as though no one concerned about what they are doing and how they feel. They are burnt out. They're working 12 hours a shift, 2 shifts. They are burnt out. You got a day shift and a night shift. Each shift is working, they are discombobulation. One shift working one way, another shift working the other way. They're not patrolling, they're not performing. But let me remind you, Rockdale County have good officers. They just don't have a proper leadership. Now, my style of leadership is, first of all, I'm a retired Navy chief. And my style of leadership is accountability. When we put this gun in, put this badge on, this gun on, our responsibility is to serve, protect. And I've been doing this all my life. These young officers have to be motivated, retrained, and get the support they need from their upper chain of command so they can do their duties. Your subdivision is not being protected. Short on manpower. Response to calls is taking too long. And also there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to protect the people of Rockdale County. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my damnness to do that. I hope I answered your question.
That answers the question. I want to ask you another question about gun rights, Second Amendment. So, what is your opinion about citizens and their rights to carry arms?
Okay, first of all, my duties is I'm a law enforcement official. I will enforce the laws of the state of Georgia and the Constitution of the United States. I'm bound to serve. That's where I've been all my adult life, at age 17 to right now. Whatever the laws are, that's what I will enforce. My personal opinion, I really don't have one. But I do think anyone that has a gun, they should be properly trained, use of the gun, safety of the gun, the proper way to protect themselves, and also keep the weapon safe from the children. We're losing too many kids because some person left the gun on the dresser, unlocked, in a drawer, unsecured, on a coffee table. I want that to change. So what I do when I become the sheriff, I'll make this some of my platform, because I will have a platform to speak on, and I will encourage safety of the weapon and safety of the children with these weapons. But I will enforce I will follow and enforce the Constitution of the United States. My job as the Rockdale County Sheriff is to follow the Constitution. My job, my position is constitutional.
Gotcha. You know, and I'd asked that question because I attended a forum all three of you were at,
Okay.
and I believe you answered the question very similar to the same answer.
Mhm.
I think Mr. Hamrick answered the question very similar, and the sheriff actually said he didn't believe anybody other than police officers had the right to carry to own assault weapons. Is what he defined as assault weapons.
Well,
So
my personal
that's
go
but
ahead.
that's what I wanted to say is, you know, I wanted to just put that out there, right? Uh, and I just wanted to hear your opinion because I'm a strong Second Amendment advocate. Second Amendment says I have the right to bear arms, and I'm gonna actually do that, right? So it's, you know, the law says I can, as long as I do everything by the law, then I don't expect law enforcement to bother me. You know what I mean?
And I agree with you. I agree with you. I believe the same thing you believe in.
So somebody here, Charlotte asked because she says, "Have you looked at the sheriff's budget? Do you see any ways to increase staff?"
Oh, yes. First of all, there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. I received a budget approval where the sheriff was authorized to buy 8 police cars. Now, from Macon, Georgia, Bibb County, Augusta, DeKalb County, Metro Atlanta, all the surrounding areas here, the average police car that's fully equipped vehicle, not a tactical unit, but a fully equipped police vehicle, costs on the average between $40,000 and $52,000. The present sheriff was able to purchase 8 cars for right near $1 million. If you break it down, they're on an average $125,000 per vehicle. I don't understand that. That could went a lot of other places. Now the money is there. So when I do become the sheriff of Rockdale County, I would bring in an audit team from another state to come and do audits on the money, the training, the staffing, the organization. So I know a better way to do what we're doing. Because right now, being an outsider, I can ask for those records. And based on the freedom of information, open record request supposed to take 72 hours to get the information. I have not received not one result of one of my requests. So I know for a fact I can't go in there and get that budget right now. So I don't know exactly what the budget say. And see, we always talk about the budget. It depends on the money we're spending on. So I don't know how to curve anything because I don't see where it's being spent. I know there's a lot of waste. Another thing I think of the waste, I don't know the details of it. I don't understand why Rockdale County Sheriff's Office do not have for buying gas in the car, why they don't have a fleet management system where they can buy their gas like we did in Atlanta. We have a fleet management system where every department of city government could go and buy their gas by swiping with a credit card type thing, and it's paid for by their own department. So why can't a patrol car in Rockdale go to a fire station and purchase gas from that fire station? The gas already been purchased, and I don't know what the rates are, but if you do it collectively like that, the price of the gas be a lot cheaper than buying it from an independent owned private gas station. That's saving money that way. And I don't have all the details on all the ways of saving the money because I don't have access to the books.
So Charlotte got another question. It's a good question. Will you continue the youth outreach programs that are already in place, or do you have other ideas to engage with youth?
First of all, yes, I would take what was already in place and see how it's working. See what it's doing, what it's supposed to be doing. I will modify it if need be or change it completely. I do not know. But one thing I will not do, Larry, is go in like a bulldozer and push everything out the way. I will go in there and do assessments with a team of selected staff members to help me figure out the best way of doing this. Another thing, when I become sheriff of Rockdale County, I would not sit here and tell you I'm going to sit there and make every decision all on my own independently. I'm going to surround myself with the men and women of Rockdale County. Some lieutenant or sergeant have been there 18, 19 years. He know all the bodies to bury. I'm going to talk to people like that so they can direct me and help me. Because if I woke up tomorrow and I was the sheriff of Rockdale County, I wouldn't even know where my office is located at. So I have to go in there, figure out what's going on, put the best people around me to help me run the sheriff department. To make this one of the best sheriff departments in the state of Georgia.
I had heard you make a statement at one of the forums about who you would have doing patrol, and
Yeah.
and would you talk to the folks about who you would have doing patrol and why?
First of all, you have a lot of high-ranking officers sitting up in office all day long, rubbing cheek to cheek, whatever you want to call it, making a lot of money and not performing. Those same command staff officers will put on uniforms, get in their patrol cars, and be on the street. Put more time on the street in those uniform cars that would deter crime and less time in office. I figure a commander, because I've been doing a lot of research, I've been around. The average commander in any one of these organizations should be in the office more than 2 hours. They have to manage their time, and they need to get their butts on the street. So that way, a young officer can look around and see his major or his commander out there in a car. Not necessarily patrolling, but being visible to let that young man or young woman understand, I got your back. These young officers need support. Becoming Rockdale County Sheriff, they got my back. And I'm going to make sure everybody in the chain of command going to perform. I'm a retired Navy chief, and it's about accountability. And I would inspect what I expect. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, I think Cheryl had a comment there about flock cameras. Could you talk to us about flock cameras?
I can't wait to talk about them flock cameras. We short of manpower in Rockdale County. Now, I hope the audience have some idea about the flock camera, and if they don't, I'm going to tell you what they are. You normally see them on the expressways. They're in a lot of places, but you probably can see them on the expressway a lot more than you can see them a lot better. What a flock camera does, it records everything going by the camera. The flock camera got you. So if an officer, say for example, there's a suspicious car in your subdivision, a red truck, and there's a number on the tag 3 on a red truck, might be a Ford Chevrolet. We can put that into the system. When you pass a flock camera, the flock camera got you and will follow you. And another thing about the flock camera, it will help us reduce this human trafficking. Human trafficking is on the rise. Now, when I become the sheriff of Rockdale County, I will also add drones into our system. I have contacted several law enforcement agencies. I have talked to manufacturers. There is grant money available from the state of Georgia, the United States government, and different parts of the government. And there's some companies that make these drones, and they want to give them to the law enforcement agency. These companies that make these devices will provide the training and get the officers qualified to be drone pilots. That money is coming from budgets and piles of money the state already got and the federal government. It won't cost Rockdale County anything from the beginning anyway. So you can tie the flock camera and the drones together, and our dispatchers, our 911 centers can be able to monitor that. Another thing I would say about the drones, which I would bring to Rockdale County, I've seen them work in other places. An officer get a call to a place, a burglar, suspicious person, armed robbery, automobile theft, car accident. The drone can get to the scene quicker. The drone can give the officer cover. It can watch the officer pull up. The drone can take pictures, 3D pictures. The drone can fly around the building and record everybody they see. to let the officer know, hey, there's a sniper on top of the building. You need backup. Backup is on the way. That's what I want to do for Rockdale County.
So you want to increase patrolling,
Yes,
utilize technology,
yes,
and then also with the youth, you want to ensure we've got the programs and the resources in place to actually curb youth crime.
that is correct. Another thing I want to do for the youth, and this not just for the youth. We have a lot of youth throughout this country smoke marijuana. In a lot of states in the United States, marijuana is legal. Right now, in Rockdale County and state of Georgia, it is illegal. Being your sheriff of Rockdale County, I will not arrest anyone for less than an ounce of marijuana. We will give them a ticket under disorderly conduct. They go before the court system. The prosecutor and the judge will make a decision. Therefore, your child or you will not have a criminal record for having marijuana if it's less than an ounce. You get a ticket like stop sign violation. Go and pay your fine, whatever it is, and get out of there. Therefore, you can go into the military without a criminal record, get a job at a bank, get a job at the credit bureau, get a job for federal government without being seen as a criminal. Everybody needs a second chance. I believe in giving second chances. I'm not going to pile that jail up with young folks, young poor people in jail, trying to make bail and bond, getting a lawyer for having marijuana when it's already legal in other states. Another thing I want to do with the youth, I want to be able to. We had a program in Atlanta when I was a young officer. It was called Officer Friendly, and it worked then. I don't know why agencies don't use that program anymore because it worked for us. We, being in the uniform, I was required to wear two name tags. One had my name on it, other had Officer Friendly. When I was around children, my name was Officer Friendly. Anytime they saw it was always Officer Friendly. We were taught to kneel down with the child so they could look us face to face, and they would say, let me touch your hat. Can I touch your badge? Can I touch your handcuff? Can I touch your gun? No, you can't touch my gun. Make the kids feel safe with us because we was all called Officer Friendly. I would like to bring that type thing into Rockdale County. Now, during one of the debates, one of my competitors said he would like to have a ball with the children. I'm not going to have a ball with these children. I want to be able to take these kids. We go to a park and have a big picnic. They can put me in the dunker machine, throw the ball, knock me in the water. Partner me up with a child, you with a child, you with a child. We play horseshoe, basketball, horseshoes. Kids jump up and down on the water slides, jump up and down those with ball machines and eat hot dog, eating cotton candy, run around and play. Your kid come home, he need to be smelling like a puppy. He need to be exhausted. That's how you get to know the law enforcement official. The kids need to understand we're going to be the friend and the protector.
So one of the questions I know you guys were asked at some of the forums, and I want to ask it here, and it's about school resource officers, and there were grants available to put resource officers in the elementary schools. And I don't believe the current sheriff wanted to actually do that. He didn't believe in officers being in elementary school. And when we look at what's happened across America, some of the worst school shootings have been in elementary schools. So would if the grant monies were available, would you participate in putting school resource officers in elementary schools?
Answer is yes. Without a doubt, they need to be there. First of all, it served as a deterrent. It's a shame we got teachers teaching these children, and they're afraid to come to work. The children are fighting the teachers. The parents come to the school and fight the teachers. We got officers in this school. I think that would be a deterrent. I don't understand why. Larry, let me tell you something. What people are doing today, not just in Rockdale County, everybody is playing pity-pat. They're playing pity-pat with all this. I want to ask the Rockdale County residents and the rest of the world, Do you want a sheriff or a babysitter? You want a sheriff or a babysitter? If you want a babysitter, don't consider me. You want a sheriff? Vote Ronald Muckle. That's what I'm about. Yes, I will put resource officers in every school. I don't know why. It may be a situation where the superintendents of the board don't want that. Well, I got to do my best to encourage them to take that offer, and I put them in them schools. Yes, I would do that
That's a
in a
fair assessment.
heartbeat.
That's a fair assessment. That's a good answer. I like the answer.
Thank
So,
you.
Ronald, what else do you think is important about being sheriff of Rockdale County that maybe the citizens aren't aware of or our current administration isn't focusing on?
Yes, Rockdale County Jail. There are not enough deputies working in that jail. That way, you got people dying in the jail. People being sexually assaulted in the jail, men and women, men being raped by men being sodomized by men. The deputies are underworked, and everybody want to blame the young deputy when something happened in the jail. It happens because the lack of leadership from the top. You can imagine a young officer on duty report to his sergeant, that man in his cell looks sick. Well, shit, write it up. We get to it. No, I don't believe in that. I'm holding everybody accountable, from the chief deputy all the way down. Not that 22-year-old young officer. Everybody above that officer. That officer cannot do a job unless he got support from his chain of command. They are bringing in drugs. Now, my opponent's going to say something else. They're bringing in drugs. They're bringing in cell phones. The whole world know that. I can stop all that. I can drop the drugs and the cell phone and all that. Another thing, what I'm gonna do, Rockdale County detention. Person that's in jail. The inmates that's in jail. I'm gonna put them to work. Unless some superior court says I can't, I'm gonna put them to work on the street. That way they can burn up all that energy working out there in the street. Being protected now with water and food and all the things they need to keep them safe. Therefore, they don't have time to come back and fight all night. They fight all day and all night because they ain't got nothing to do. Another thing I'm going to say, Larry, I don't know if this is part of your question, but I'm going to get it out while I got this moment. This is what a sheriff can do. If a person, for example, is convicted to serve 60 days in jail, I can give them a day for every day they work, called good behavior. If a person, young man, don't have a high school diploma, and he should have been graduating this year, and he can't because he's in jail, and got to serve 6 months in jail, and therefore he can't graduate with his high school, and he don't have a GED because he's a student, and he can't graduate, he don't have it anymore. Take that person from that environment that we normally used to seeing, the jail, put him in another environment so he can get a GED. So when the Board of Education say this person need A, B, C, whatever they need, put together that particular lesson plan, give it to that person. And I would ask from somebody from the Board of Education or some volunteer teacher that has been retired to come in here. We're going to keep everybody safe. Teach this information so this person can get a GED. Take this GED to the Board of Education, superintendent of schools, and ask that they convert this GED to a high school diploma from the school they should have graduated from. That's what I want to do. We got to help these folks. I'm about helping people. Larry, to answer your question?
It does answer my question, Ronald.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that, John. John said that the Democrat Party has a question on the primary ballot that is clearly worded to reflect the party's opposition to making inmates do labor.
Say it again.
On the ballot, there's a ballot question that actually says, "Would you vote to eliminate inmates doing labor?" because they defined it as slave labor.
I'm gonna put them to work unless some court tell me I can't. I'm gonna put them to work. We're not gonna put them in a slave type environment. We're gonna make them work. Everybody else working. Why they can't work? You got people right now cutting grass every day, lawns. Why inmate can't go out and do a yawn and cut down bushes and stuff on county-owned property? Why they can't do that? They need to do it. Burn some of that energy. They'll be provide food and water, shelter, everything they need. Therefore, if they have their work 6, 7 hours a day, they can't be in jail fighting all day, raping each other. And I'll give them day for day. And how I would do this, Larry, this is how I would do it. I want to be able to set up a board. Not a parole board, okay? No, it won't be a parole, but something similar like that, where this inmate will get warnings throughout the jail. They got there to get information from the sheriff's office saying that I want you to volunteer to do these things. So this person said, well, I want to volunteer to be a trustee, so I go cut grass. We would let them stand in front of a 4 or 5 member panel to beg, say, can I get this permission to do work on the work detail? We give it to them. And for every day you do, we get a day. You get it. You earn a day for every day you work to get released early. I know I'm getting it. It probably didn't come out real smooth because it's not prepared speeches that I do. It's from my heart, and I'm not joking.
So one of the guys asked, does the sheriff have the authority to reduce a sentence?
The sentence? No, you're not reducing the sentence. You're not reducing the sentence. The sentence is going to stay the same, but you get them earned out.
So you do have the authority to
yes
to give them good behavior, shorten the time. Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So Charlotte
it's not reduced. Don't get it. It's not reducing the sentence.
They're actually getting credit.
Getting credit.
Okay. So let me ask. Charlotte has a question here. They are building a mental health ward in the jail. What is your opinion on that?
Should have had one a long time ago. Because everybody in jail is not a criminal. Even though a crime is committed, they're not criminals. Some of them are just sick. Larry, can I explain something to what happened in the DeKalb County Jail?
Go ahead.
Okay. Listen, I want the whole world to hear this. And thanks again, Larry, for allowing me to be here. Because y'all need to hear this. The whole world, y'all need to hear this. The other lady, and she's in Metro, she's here right today. She probably leave tomorrow. She was in Houston, Georgia, Houston, Texas. Her son is a disabled veteran. He served in the military. He was discharged because he's mental. Because being in the military, he got messed up. How he got messed up, I don't know. She was at the VA in Houston, and she eventually came to Georgia because her son was in the DeKalb County Jail, and she only wanted the DeKalb County Sheriff to transfer him to the VA. They refused. At the VA here in Atlanta, a patient advocate asked this lady to call Ronald Muckle. I'm not employed by the VA. They told her to call me because they say Mr. Muckle will help you fight, and he's a veteran. Me and the lady fought for 4 months, begging, fighting, calling everybody. A lot of the politicians y'all know about. I'm not going to get into the name. They know who they are. Nobody make a move. We only want those other politicians the other politicians to be able to call that sheriff on her personal number and say, transport this person to the VA. We got a 1013 to get him moved. The VA said we cannot go and get him, but he's a veteran. We will accept him and treat him. The doctors at Grady Hospital, when he was first picked up out of DeKalb County, we took him to Grady. The Grady doctors, I think the woman says several hundred pages of information. In this writing, the doctor at Grady said that if he stayed in the jail, he would die. We fought this a long time. And the boy recently died maybe a month ago. And he died in the jail. They say he was non-responsive. They took him to Emory and later pronounced him dead. And what we begged the sheriff to do, now we never talked to the sheriff. That's why I'm going to have an open door policy. It's going to be different. You can be able to get to me. I ain't playing with this. I ain't got to hide nothing. I don't want nobody to block nothing. I want to know everything was going on. That sheriff, I don't know what she did or didn't do, but we never talked to her. But that person was never transported to the VA hospital. And the greater doctor said he would not survive in a jail. Now, during this time, I called some of my retired police chief buddies, some present chief buddies in other jurisdictions, and I said, "What would you do?" They said, "Muckle. I would get two officers, put that person in restraint, and take him to the VA. Sign him to the VA. The VA got their own police. Sign him in with them. They finish treating him, we'll come and get him." That's what I'm going to do. And I'm glad this facility is going to be in there. And you don't, and no thing, Larry, building this facility, all the things they said they're going to do, it is needed. But it could have been working already with what they already got. Designated section of the jail for that. Bringing the medical staff. Instead of using this particular cell as a cell, make it something else. They got the space. They could have did it already. Everybody wants to say, we need more money. No. Use what you got until you get what you want. I hope I answered that question. Yes, we need it.
No, you answered the question, and that was a good answer. So, Ronald, I think we've discussed a lot of stuff tonight, and I think you've talked about a lot of things you'd like to do differently. So, what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to give you your closing time here. I'm going to let you go ahead and close out. Tell people again who you are and why you should be the sheriff and why they should vote for you.
Okay. One thing I forgot to mention, but I'll do it now. When I become sheriff of Rockdale County, every person in uniform, especially the young officers, I want them to get out their cars every day, at least speak to 3 people that's not on the call now. Like going to the laundry and talk to somebody, going to the laundromat, talk to somebody, walk through Burger King and just talk to people, or go to, talk to 3 different people every day. Every day, I want that information passed through the chain of command up to my desk every day. Therefore, those officers got to get out their cars and walk and talk to people. Not just drive by. They need to communicate with the people. They got to show their concern. And the people will feel they can trust the law enforcement community. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming out of retirement. Because I am sick and tired of everybody telling me what they can't do. Everybody will tell you, we got all these programs. We got all these programs. Those programs is not working because they're not being implemented. And you have to inspect what you expect. If you don't inspect it, don't expect it, because it won't never happen. I guarantee you, you've had situations where you go to get a copy of a report. They say, come back next Tuesday. You said the report should have been done 2 weeks ago. That would never happen on my watch, because everybody in that building and that law enforcement agency is going to do their job. Nobody getting a free ride when I become sheriff of Rockdale County. You're going to do your job. You're getting paid by the citizens of Rockdale County to do your job. You better do your job. You make it $80,000 a year, you better produce.
There you go. So Ronald, again, go ahead and tell everybody who you are, why they should vote for you, and why you need to be the next sheriff.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Ronald Muckle. I'm coming out of retirement, be your sheriff. I can't wait to be the sheriff of Rockdale County so I can make this a better place for all of us. And thank you for your time. Thank you very much, Larry Cox.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're gonna get off of here because I've got to set up again. I got another guest coming on here in a little bit. So I want to thank Ronald for coming on the show. I want to thank the guests for watching tonight. So we're going to take about a 20-minute break here. I got to go and sign the other show in, talk to the other guest, get her lined up, and we'll be back live here at 8 o'clock with Renee Simpson. So thank you, Ronald. Thanks for coming on the show. I wish you nothing but the best in this election next Tuesday. And I'll see you out on the street.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.